Literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks. I'm saving up my dough, watching it grow. No more wasting money on things I don't really know. Financial smarts, that's my new swag. Investing wisely, no more burning cash, I'm building wealth. $1 at a time, going from broke to living the life that's prime.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. This is going to be a special one. This is actually going to be something that I hold close to my heart, considering that I got forced to do this for an interview that I did. Shout out to Miss Virginia. Yeah, people like to interview your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, believe it or not. This was an interview actually on something that I enjoy talking about. It was covering financial principles. And so we went through, and she wanted to mine it out. She wanted 10 principles. It made for a really long conversation, and I loved every second of it. To get her some content on her channel, congratulations on her addition to her family. Yeah, so she's got some content during her downtime, but it was such a good conversation. It was something that I hadn't really thought about myself, because the way that I function, I generally ingest information and then start testing stuff, and then I don't really think about it after that, to be honest. It's not something that comes naturally to me to like line out a plan, doing the affirmations thing. I mean, I know that for a couple of years, one of my experiments was I was reprogramming my mind. And so I was doing this practice, which is you're reciting, I'm the type of person who, and like you fill that in based on the trajectory of what you want to be preceding yourself to do. And I did do that for a couple of years. Like I actually normally do it for about the first month of the year. I don't really do New Year's affirmation, like the wish list thing where it's like, these are the resolutions. That's what it is. I normally will do that, and I'll do it for the first month of the year. And I'll recite those preceding programmings based on how I need to tweak. Cause pretty much I like the way that I'm running right now. I like the results that I'm getting. I like the drive that I have. I like the energy that I have for things, especially stuff that I don't necessarily want to do. I like the fact that I'm pushing myself more in the future than gratifying in the present. Now, I can't say that I'm doing that in all things, but in most things I am. And you know, those are things that I should be proud of. But one of the things I'd never done was put pen to paper on what my money principles / rules are for me. And it came out pretty interesting because I thought about it for a few weeks, and I really had to think because I have so much stuff that just floats in my head. It's a product of being functionally ADHD. Is like I can carry a bunch of ideas at once, and I can be acting on a bunch of ideas at once. And sometimes they run into conflict with each other, and it's kind of weird. But like I've said multiple times, I'm not that great at budgeting. I have backdoored my way into budgeting by really hyper focusing on my investments and making sure that I'm putting money in the market, which has forced me to have some semblance of what someone would call a budget as I'm building out this income portfolio. But I never put these principles down on paper, and I never really sat and thought about them. I've just been doing things. So while that could be dangerous, I'd say following any plan is better than following no plan. And we are testing for efficiency and efficacy over here on Future Financial Strategies. So you guys are getting to see ADD in action. when it comes to money, namely my money. But yeah, so we're going to break this into two parts. I want to do 5 and 5. And what we are doing with that is we are going to, I'm just going to tell you what the principles are. We're going to talk about it and we're going to keep it moving. So however long these two halves, because I know that the talking about all 10 of them was well over an hour and it was a great conversation. I loved every second of it, but I try to keep my videos a little bit shorter. It gives me the ability to parse these out the way that I need. And this video specifically is definitely going to be one that we are going to be chunking down into smaller bits so that we will have additional content, hopefully some content shooting over to other platforms in shorter form version. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with my money principle number 1. Pay yourself first. And the reason we go with this, all the gurus say this, everybody says this, everybody who talks about money says this, and that's it, because it's important, because people literally will pay themselves last, which is wild to me. Now, that's honestly the end of that statement. I mean, you have to prioritize the money that you're saving, the money that you're getting in the market. Now, I don't advocate for saving money. I save money in the market. Shout outs to Wall Street Trapper. I got that gem hit me from him. I'm sure hundreds of thousands of other people have probably also said the same thing, because saving in cash, you're getting destroyed by inflation. We are in a hyperinflationary environment, so that doesn't make sense. But Wall Street Trapper, when he said it, it hit for me. So pay yourself first. That is principle number 1. It's principle number 1 because of the vital importance of it. You have to prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize yourself as much as you prioritize the bank. You have to prioritize yourself as much as you prioritize your credit card company. You have to prioritize yourself as much as you prioritize your utilities, your phone bill, anything else. Your finances are also important. So pay yourself first. I am in agreement with all the gurus on that. You can get into semantics on how that looks or plays out, but it is pivotal. Pay yourself first. Up next, we've got have a financial standard. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more in depth. Also equally important. I mean, you could honestly flip-flop 1 and 2, in my opinion. But having a financial standard, pivotal. What does that mean? Having a financial standard is actually the breakdown of how you save your money. Now, for some people, if you're following the Dave Ramsey plan, your financial standard is dollars. It is not an efficient financial standard, especially if there is inflation. Any medium of exchange that an entity can print that you cannot print, it is illegal for you to print dollars. It is not illegal for the government to print dollars. Is not a financial standard that I would want to exist in, which gives you a question. Well, Ray, what would a financial standard be? It could be anything. It could be precious metals such as gold or silver. It could be houses are too illiquid, so I wouldn't say property. Gold, silver. You could make the market your financial standard, because we do save in the market. That's our next layer up. For me personally, it is Bitcoin. That is correct. Now, how is that implemented? That means at present, while we're on this trajectory that we are marching down of paying off this debt load that we have, it is 5 to 10% of all income that comes into the house, depending on source. Now, it's probably out of my check because I got my 401k still running right now. I've got HSA. I got a bunch of other stuff that are tax advantaged that are coming out of that account for no reason at this juncture. For no reason being that it doesn't benefit me from a tax standpoint. And I mean, I would be better off self-directing that money. And, but so 5% or so out of my check, out of my W-2 income. Now my dividend income, we kick that up to 10%. Now, after this debt is paid off, it's going to go to 10 and 20%. Starting next year, it might go up to 15 to 25%, depending on how we parse out what I'm going to do with my check and what if that's going to be beneficial or not. Because I got some new opinions. The data's come in. I got some different opinions on things, but my personal financial standard that I have elected that I'm putting my money where my mouth is on is Bitcoin. That is my financial standard moving forward and has been for a while. So as we're tracking what income is going where, there's going to be a consistent drip that's going into crypto, even though we're very highly focused on our income portfolio right now. The standard is the standard is the standard. And what that's doing is it's taking money, we're putting it into a vehicle that we are looking into the future. Hopefully, if I play my cards right and I'm good at this mission that I've set out on, we'll never have to touch it. But that's future. I'm looking at that the same way someone would look at their 401k. That's golden year retirement, something that you can kind of parse out and eat on, that's going to just absolutely stomp out inflation, going to absolutely over the next few decades be worth way more than my cost basis is for it now, but also is going to be a backbone of my financial strategy. So that is having a financial standard. It is the brass tacks. What foundation is your financial system built on? That doesn't mean you don't use any of the other tools. That doesn't mean you don't delve into other mediums. It's just the stuff that you stack away. What's that standard? You should have that lined out. It will make saving, investing, and everything moving forward based off that standard. Whatever you decide it is, having something that you're constantly kicking back into for later that you believe in will make all of the paying yourself first way easier, because you just put it in that and you have a little allocation that goes into that you're not planning on touching for decades at a time. You're looking away from it. Moving on, number 3. This is where we're going to get divergent from some of your gurus, and me being a bag chaser, I know they're gonna pull me to task for this. Shout out to Anton Daniels and the bag chasers. But I'm a firm believer in maximizing what you have before chasing the bag, or in layman's terms, going after increasing your income. Now, the reason I believe that is because for most people, if you have bad financial tendencies, you have bad financial strategy, increasing income is going to exacerbate the bad habits you already have. You can't just go chase the bag, get more income, and think that's going to fix you overspending on lifestyle. You're just going to have lifestyle creep. You're just going to exacerbate a bad situation, and the numbers will just be bigger. Reason being is that's just the way that you're wired. You have to change your wiring first. So I always tell people, maximize what you have before chasing the bag. How have I lived that? By example. As I've progressed through my financial journey, I haven't really taken jobs. Actually, I haven't taken any of my recent jobs, because I've only had 2, because I've been at the job that I'm at right now for 11 years. And before that, I was at that job for 6 years. And I understand everybody's supposed to be job hopping every 3 years. That's the most efficient way to do it. I navigated my positions for access. That's what I needed. So in order for me to get wealthy, I knew that I'm not going to get wealthy by working at a job. I can get wealthy utilizing the income from a job, which means I just need to have enough income from the job. The other thing that I wanted was access. My mentorship circle is dope. It is stacked because I navigated into a position to where I actually networked and navigated my way because of my financial prowess. People give you opportunities when you don't need them. They don't give it to the people who need it. You got to be able to walk away and not need it to be able to leverage things. So leveraging my way into a partnership position. Navigating my way into a partnership position. Being able to, what would I say? Being able to obviously increase my income a little bit, but it wasn't like I said, I'm the only person on YouTube who'd be on these panels arguing that doesn't make 6 figures. And then they want to tell me I'm a brokey. And then we want to talk about net worth, or actually they never want to talk about net worth. They just want to talk about income, but we're playing different games. It's fine. Because I am avid at maximizing what I have. I know exactly what I need. I know what my exit number is. Likely we're looking at, let's see here. I'd say between the next 2 to 4 years, like I want to be able to leave the job market, period, in 2024. Or not 2024, in 2028, the next bull run. So this bull run cycle, I should be somewhere in the realm of work optional. By the next one, I should be able to have it to where I don't have to go to work at all, period. Like work optional is going to be like, I don't have to go to work at all, but I want a year or two to build that income out and like put it in position and take that income, make some moves, and have it set to where I don't have to touch my crypto either. So this is a gamified thing, but like I have my American numbers, but I'm also planning on not staying in the States full time. So out of the States, I will be increasing how much I'm able to save and leverage and still live and do everything that I want to do. And we're going to be setting up some lifestyle adjustments, and it's going to be great. I'm excited about it. But yeah, and I can only speak from my personal experience. I did not go get a 6-figure job to navigate into the position I'm in. Now, under the circumstances, would it have been easier? Much. But also being able to be on the level of financial literacy that I am, because as they're saying, you can't pay off a car, you can't own a home. I mean, I don't have kids, but like it's a base assumption. Like you could also not have kids. Those are decisions. So all the stuff that you apparently can't do and life is just abysmal and terrible if you don't make 6 figures. I mean, I guess I'm the antithesis of that because I'm extremely financially literate. And the thing is, most of these things scale if you can figure out how to make them work, if you understand the tools. So there's also that. I'm not up to my eyeballs in debt. I have assets that are backing all the debt that I have. I just prefer to not have to sell assets to pay debt. I like to use debt to buy assets. So again, maximizing what you have before chasing the bag. So if I do happen to luck into one of those coveted 6-figure positions, we're going to be moving that money real efficiently because I've already got a system for it to go into. I didn't wait until I was making the money to have the system. I started before I was making what I'm making now. Moving on to the next one. Ignore the Joneses. Now, this was a hard one for me until I started getting my stuff together. I don't really look like even the other people in the spaces, the other content gurus. Like I'm not jealous of them. I'm happy for them. And like I glean insight from how they're navigating. But the other thing that I understand is in these YouTube spaces and in most spaces, people are posturing. They are lying. They're renting the nice car to go to the club to impress these chicks. That's the reason they get busted down one night. The next day, dude's got a Hyundai. He always had a Hyundai. He rented the car for the weekend and you got. Like his car's indefinitely in the shop. He doesn't own that car. He rents it. It's a Toro. Okay. These people are lying. Their social medias are highlight reels. Nobody is honest about what goes on when these cameras go off, when they log off Facebook, when they're doing any of these things. Like, I mean, most of these dudes on these panels and chicks don't even cam up. All the opinions, they could be dysgenic as hell out here. Like you don't even know what they look like. And in the content creation space, you do know what they look like, but I mean, you're seeing what you're allowed to see. So I don't really base what I'm doing around that. I base what I'm doing around, do I have to go to work? Do I have to get up today and go leave this job? Could I sleep in if I wanted to? Could I take a month off if I wanted to? Can I afford to get injured? Do I have my finances in order? Can I sleep good at night because people aren't calling to collect on debts because you're not paying your stuff? That's the metric. Do I have the stuff that I want? Not the stuff that these content creators tell you, oh, you gotta fly first class because you need to, because I can. Like, okay, like honestly, who gives a shit? Like, No one cares. That's scare tactic that they use to get clickbait and piss people off. Like, I get it. Like, you're playing a game. You live here. I don't got to work, but you're constantly on YouTube all day. That's a fucking job. This is tired. Like, this is additional time. You're always at home. You always got to have a camera in your face. You're that goofy looking dude who's walking down the street being dysgenic with a camera pointed at yourself because your clothes are expensive to prove that you're doing something. We get it. But if you're basing your life, if that's what you want to do, dope. But like, not everybody wants to do the same stuff. Now, is there something to be said for having the option to do it? Absolutely. I think everybody should get as wealthy as they possibly can within reason. But like, I think base one of freedom, actual freedom, is breaking out of the matrix and being like, I don't have to go to work. Like, there's a difference between going to work because you want to go to work and going to work because you have to go to work. There's a difference between going out shopping and having to look at price tags versus just grabbing stuff and getting it, or sending somebody to get it for you. There's a difference. So I'm not saying that those people that choose to do those things are like it's bad. What I'm saying is it should be a decision. Those should be choices. And the people who throw that in people's faces, like, you'll see these people get into these debates and want to talk about finance and stuff. And then when they get backed into a corner, it becomes, I'm richer than you. Like, okay. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't need that much to not have to go to work. So you got more opportunity chips. Like, you can fly out the country. I can fly out the country. Like, if I want to spring for first class, I can do that. But for me, it's about my game. I'm not playing their game. You shouldn't be playing their game. And if you're basing your metrics of success on what other people are doing, you're not even going to enjoy it. Like, that's not even an accomplishment if it's not your game. Now, like, my game, I have my metrics of accomplishment within my game that I've clearly defined for myself. It does not include throwing stuff in people's faces. That I don't get that. Like, if you're gonna do that, then like, yo, line up a boxing match. Like, let's throw hands. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I grew up different. It's whatever. Like men were never judged on solely having some money, because anybody could get slapped up at any time. Like, those are real things. So like, it's what it is. Okay, but keeping up with the Joneses and buying stuff before it's time to buy it because somebody made you feel bad because they got a Rolex and you don't. So you're going to go spring for the Rolex and you broke. They got to write the Rolex off because they're on YouTube and it's part of their business model. It sounds counterproductive to me. Just to get on YouTube to like flex back that you got a Rolex now too. Doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense. All that glitters is not gold, folks. These people are, some of them are as rich as they say they are. Some of them are not as rich as they say they are, and they're trying to keep up with the other ones that are writing off stuff. It's different buying something that you don't get to write off. But a lot of these people that flex stuff on YouTube is part of a business model. Sorry to spill the beans, y'all, but it is what it is. So it's just different. Like, it's different. Some of the people in my mentorship group that got Rolexes that aren't on YouTube because like they didn't write them off. They just bought them. Like, they didn't put them on a screen, didn't do no unboxing, nothing. They just bought it. That's their Rolex. Ain't nobody seen it but the people sitting at the table with them. They paid for it. It's what it is. Still rich. Like, they can afford to do that. Didn't have to write off. But like I said, is what it is. That is, it's just not going to be productive chasing somebody else's dream because it's not yours. You gotta figure out what you want. It's a bunch of stuff that's nice to haves, but figure out what you want and go after that. Okay, so last one for this episode is going to be money is a tool, energy, and opportunity. Like, these people be acting like money is their god. Money is just the ability to, it's the stored energy of countless individuals. Basically, whoever you give the money to get them to do whatever you need them to do. It is energy in that sense. It is a tool in a sense that it can help you accomplish things. It's an arbitrator. It's opportunity. The more money you have, the more opportunity you got. Can't fault that, which is why I tell everybody you should get as rich as you possibly can. At minimum, get out the matrix, like, because the game's going to change once I'm completely out of the matrix. And that's what that is. It's not anything special. It doesn't make a person better. Shout out to Anton Daniels. It's just going to expose who you actually are. A lot of these people will be characters for money within reason. A lot of these people on YouTube do play characters. They're who they are online, shucking and jiving, doing what they can to be in the algorithm, having conversations that are completely pointless because they want to live here, which is fine. You can do that. But bear in mind that the money doesn't make the person better. There's terrible people with money. I always tell people who say they hate rich people, maybe you should be the type of rich person that you don't hate then. Get rich and do whatever the hell it is you think rich people should do. They don't ever take me up on it. But, it's a thought. There isn't an archetype for a person who's wealthy. I mean, I guess not being less of a consumer than everybody else. You got to figure that out. But the money in and of itself doesn't make or break a person. Because you could have a homeless person that got hands. The person with money don't get that work. It's over. Money becomes worthless. Survival of the fittest kicks in, which is funny because a lot of these dudes talk about, oh, I got security, I got this, I got that. Like if the monetary system collapses, let's see if that security stick by you. We'll see. Them walls become real thin. Like look up societal collapses, bro. Like this is the first civilization that we've ever lived in where the wealthiest people are also the weakest people in a anything that matters scenario. These are facts. In a societal collapse, that's because I mean, back in the day, the wealthiest people were also martially trained. They were also the best fighters. Because you had to take wealth. You had to take resources. These people didn't have to take shit. And when those societies collapsed, the part of the thing that staved it off was because like one knight could kill 10 peasants before they took the night out. So you had to figure out which 10 was going. Now everybody talks about the security that they've hired. If dollars become worthless, that's what you pay your security in. Just saying. So money doesn't make you a better, like more of a man. We just live in a society where you don't have to be on that level because of how peaceful it is. But I mean, this society is in decline. Which bleeds the question. Like, things could go south. So like don't let money go to your head and make you think that you're somebody you're not. It's a tool. It's energy, it's opportunity. The rest of that stuff still has to be built. The money still has to be built. But it's a piece. And a lot of people overcorrect on a piece of the puzzle. Because we live in a first world society where, generally speaking, people aren't fighting in the streets. You don't have to worry about defending yourself, your property, whatever. There's barriers to entry a lot of places, as long as there's still a monetary system. Because during that jarring few, however long it is till we figure out something else, that money doesn't afford anybody anything. Your security doesn't show up anymore. The police don't show up anymore. The military probably don't show up anymore. Or what normally happens is all those people start doing their own thing. Just saying. I've read quite a few history books. And one of the reasons that most of the time your wealthiest people were also martially trained and the peasants weren't trained to fight at all was exactly that, because there were just more peasants than the rich people. And now we have a bunch of weak, soft, dysgenic rich people that think that just hyper focusing on the money makes them better than other people. It doesn't. But you got to respect the game. It's a hierarchical notator. It's one of them. How much wealth you have. That's a game. Wealth is a game. And some people got more points than others, and you gotta humble yourself. also understand that some people hit harder than others, and some people know how to take a punch, and some people know how to throw a punch. Like, also hierarchies. Gotta give respect where it's due. The dude who can knock your block off has a mediocre amount of power over you, even if he's like got less money. Like, those are we got a whole bunch of different games we're playing. Don't isolate on one. So we're gonna close it out on that one. We will be back next week, family, for episode 2 of Financial Principles. Until then, folks, till the next time, it's your boy Reckless Arrow, and we are going to be out with this one, and we're getting ready for the next one. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.